Trenbolone effects, what it does for me. So people really want to know about this anabolic, and it is one that has like a shitload of misinformation behind it. So I understand that everybody's bodies are different, but I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you guys my experiences with it, okay? So this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Don't take anything I say in this talk about in this video. Don't do anything I talk about in this video. Don't do anything I do. It's just for entertainment and education. Okay, so Trenbolone. I have experience with Trenbolone acetate. It's fast-acting Trenbolone. So this drug is probably the best drug for bodybuilding. The way it makes you look the way, or it promotes looking the way, because it doesn't make you look the way, but it promotes looking the way that a bodybuilder looks. So it makes you harder. It makes you bigger and more muscular. It promotes separation of muscles. It helps in burning fat. And it's very strong. It's very strong. So it's, in my opinion, the best drug for bodybuilding. Trenbolone. And with that, there's also a lot of like folklore about, like, you know, its side effects. And I don't use Trenbolone anymore because I actually don't like the side effects. It's not because they're like so extreme and like ruin your life or something, but they're really annoying. And so basically, if I took a 100 milligram shot of Trenbolone, on the third day after I took the shot, on that third day is when I would see a difference in my physique. I would look a little bit leaner, and I would look more muscular, and there would be more separation between my muscles. So these are the cosmetic effects of Trenbolone. And those cosmetic effects, they're not actual muscle growth or actual fat loss. It's just effects that happen while you're on the drug. And so those kick in and they show visually on your physique on the third day after the first 100 milligram shot. So it kicks in really fast. And then it is really strong at building muscle and burns fat as well. So there would be times when I was using Trenbolone, and the usual dosage that I would use it at is, I've used it a couple times, okay? And the usual dosage that I would use it at is 100 milligrams every other day. So 350 milligrams per week. And I would use like the same dosage of testosterone with that. So like 350 milligrams of testosterone propionate a week and 350 milligrams of Trenbolone acetate per week. And that together alone was strong enough that there would be times when, you know, I would be trying to diet or something, and I would have a mishap and end up doing a binge, and I would maybe eat 2 large pizzas at night and a half a chocolate cake. And the next morning, I'd wake up looking more muscular, bigger, leaner, more hard, full, veiny muscles, okay? So that's a testament to how strong this compound is, that it can do that. It really is probably the best one at nutrient partitioning and changing the way that your body handles food. Because let's face it, guys, that's what steroids do. They change the way that your body handles food. Steroids don't work if you don't eat enough calories. You won't build any muscle. As well as if you don't eat a restriction of calories, they won't help you lose fat either. They are manipulators of the way that your body handles the food that you eat. So Trenbolone is the best one at that. It's the best one at making the food that you eat go to your muscles only. And with that, it's really easy to get hypoglycemia on Trenbolone. And that is what makes you, for me, I feel hungry as shit when I've taken this, because all of a sudden Trenbolone will strip all of the carbohydrates out of my blood, and my brain will register this, and I have low blood sugar and be extremely hungry and, you know, need sugar now. And so it actually is hard for me. Like, I have urges or tendencies to eat junk food when I've used it, because of this these urges that I would get to eat sugar now because of low blood sugar. And I don't like that. That's really annoying. So the other thing though is that it makes you stronger. Like, all your lifts go up. They go up easily. If you can feel like an animal in the gym, because you just don't get tired. So it's very powerful, and I would say in order, the like 5 times as strong as testosterone statistic that you get sometimes that you see on the internet, that's probably like pretty accurate. Like, you would need to like multiply a testosterone dosage by 5 to get an equal strength to Trenbolone on milligram per milligram scale. So that's pretty interesting. So basically, for bodybuilding, it does everything you want it to do. It doesn't turn into estrogen. I don't have to change my AI dosage, my aromatase inhibitor dosage, depending on how much Trenbolone I'm using. I just keep the same as I was using for testosterone, and it doesn't make a difference. And it makes you stronger. It makes strength gain easy to come by. It makes hard muscle mass, not bloated muscle mass, easy to come by, basically if you fuel it with food. And it also makes fat loss easier. And when you eat large amounts of food, even junk food, you get bigger, more separated, and more muscular. For the most part. There's obviously exceptions, but for the most part, that's what Trenbolone does to help with bodybuilding. So it's probably the best steroid, and because, okay, let's get to the side effects. Let's get to the side effects now, because this is where like a lot of the voodoo comes in. And don't get me wrong with the fat loss drug, guys. It's not like you take Trenbolone and you get ripped. That's not what steroids do. Steroids make you gain muscle mass when you feed them. You don't take steroids and get ripped and shredded like hard as fuck with no fat. They're not fat burners. Yeah, they are fat burners a tiny bit, but it's really light. Like, I'm just saying, if you have fat tissue on you and you start taking steroids, don't expect the fat tissue to go away. That's not what steroids do. And that's a big misconception with Trenbolone, is that if you take it, it's not just gonna make all your fat go away. You're gonna have to diet if you want your fat to go away. It will make you get a lot bigger and more muscular, and it will burn some fat. But that's not like the main effect, is like burning all your fat and getting a 6-pack. That's not what Trenbolone does. So with the side effects, it's prolactin related. And so prolactin is a hormone that turns off the male sexual system, which is shit. So if I took Trenbolone and I didn't take a dopamine agonist because dopamine is also named antiprolactin hormone, which means that if you take a dopamine agonist, it's antiprolactin. It makes your dopamine levels normal, and your prolactin levels therefore go back down to normal. So cabergoline is the best at that. Dostonex is the brand name for it. It's the best one to use to combat prolactin. So if you don't use that, probably within a week or 2, you won't really be able to get an erection anymore if you're sensitive to prolactin. Some people aren't. I am. So for me, if I took Trenbolone at 100 milligrams every other day for a week, after that, if I didn't take any cabergoline, then I wouldn't be able to get an erection anymore, because the prolactin would be high, and that completely shuts off my sexual response system. It also makes my dick numb. So Trenbolone even if I do use Dostanix though, it still makes my dick numb. And that's why you hear a lot of people like on internet forums, you hear a lot of things like, oh, I can't come on Tren, or like it takes forever to come on Tren. That's because it makes your dick numb. It's really a weird side effect, but literally your dick is like not sensitive. It like numbs it. It's super stupid, and I hate that. That's one of the main reasons why I don't like it, and why I don't use Trenbolone anymore. I don't like having a numb dick, and so that's a problem. That's a problem. But as far as not being able to come, or like period, or not being able to get an erection, that affects some people, most people. Some people aren't sensitive to prolactin, but most people are. And that can be remedied by taking cabergoline, dopamine agonist. So that's what I do for that. But then there's other side effects that people talk about, like trensomnia. I've never experienced that, to be honest. I mean, it does make me sweat more. Any steroids make me sweat more. So I actually don't, probably Tren a little bit more than usual, but just in general, steroids make you sweat more. And so yeah, I do sweat more on Tren. And I don't get any trensomnia, so I can sleep fine on Tren. But, you know, I've heard enough people say, and it seems legitimate, you know, like they can't sleep on Tren. So apparently it stimulates them, because there is androgen receptors, especially in your hindbrain back here, that lower portion that is like the animal brain. And, you know, when those are getting lit up, stimulated, then it makes them not sleep. If you watch one of my other videos on steroid side effects, I mentioned that high arousal, not meaning sexual arousal, but high central nervous system arousal is one of the side effects that I get, because if I hear a sound like a loud bang near me, you know, my head will really spin to it really quickly, and it will be like I'm not trying to do it. It's like a reflex. So that's an example of the nervous system getting stimulated, and since Tren is so strong at stimulating the androgen receptor, it does that to a greater degree than other steroids. So that's that with the trensomnia. I don't get that. Never had a problem. All right. As far as aggression, I have no issues with that. I know everybody, you know, you hear these stupid stories about like, oh, it makes me like into this like monster and I'm so aggressive. Not me. I'm convinced those people have problems, because that's not a thing. This isn't alcohol. Alcohol is a violent drug. Trenbolone, I feel more calm on Trenbolone. I feel more calm. I'm relaxed. I just am like easygoing and nice guy. So these stories about the aggression or whatever from steroids in general, and then Trenbolone as more, that's really dog shit. So I wouldn't read too much into that. If you're an emotionally controlled person, such as myself, I just am a normal guy. So I don't have any problems with aggression. I'm a normal guy. I'm not an aggressive guy. And when I take Trenbolone, I'm not an aggressive guy. I'm still a normal guy. It doesn't change who I am. So that's Tren and aggression. Okay, so it does make you hornier, okay? Tren does make you hornier, and that can be annoying. It's kind of like Proviron in that way, where it's like, you kind of just feel like masturbating or something like that. It's like too much, you know? It's like, why so much? So that's an annoying side effect. And then the other thing is that it's like heavy. It's like heavy on your system. When you're on it, you really feel like you are on steroids. Okay, when you're on Trenbolone, you feel like you're on steroids. And that's a heavy feeling because it's with you all the time, and you're carrying it with you. And, you know, you may get, you know, a lower back pump or something that, you know, is quite painful just from cleaning your room, or, you know, bending over to pick up the trash. Your lower back might end up getting a pump in it, and then you have to sit down and wait for it to go away because it's painful. So that's annoying as shit. Also, the the hypoglycemia that can suddenly come on, that's also annoying as shit. And then having a numb dick is very fucking annoying. And yeah, a numb dick. And also, oh yeah, this is another thing, is that it, like, I can get, if I take Dostonex cabergoline, right, I can get an erection fine, but the erection, it's something about Trenbolone, the molecule, constricts the blood to my dick somewhat. So I can get an erection fine, but it's just not 100% erection. It's like a 80% or an 85% erection. And it won't go any more than that. So it's hard, it's fine and hard, but it's not like max hard. Not like, or like max full, you know? And that's annoying to me. I know that's like, it seems insignificant, but that is annoying, especially if it's for a long time. So like if I'm using it for like 10 weeks or something, it gets annoying after a while. And that combined with hypoglycemia, the numb dick, and the yeah, just, you guys see the side effects, right? The horniness that is like too much sometimes. There are side effects. And at the same time, it's the best drug for promoting a bodybuilding look to your physique. And so that's basically what you get. You get the best drug for bodybuilding on the one hand, and you also get one that's really fucking annoying on the other hand. So if my goal was to be an IFBB pro bodybuilder, I'd be using it all the time because that would be my life. You know, I'd be using Tren all the time because that would be my life. But my goal is not to be an IFBB pro bodybuilder, and so I don't use it anymore because it's just not worth it to me to have those annoyances and just that shit hanging over my life to feel like I'm on steroids. I like it to be more mild. I really like the whole experience to be more mild and just be more like I'm working out and like, yeah, you know, I use gear or like I use testosterone, right? Or maybe a little something else, but not like I'm fucking on steroids. Like, that's not a good feeling, to be honest. Maybe it's a good feeling for a little while, but it's not a good feeling for months at a time. All right, so that's Trenbolone. That's my experience with Trenbolone. It's very effective, and it also comes with a lot of side effects, but it's not some diabolical drug that changes you like the rumors have it to be. And it's also not a fat burner in the way that it's gonna shred off 30 pounds of fat. Yeah, it'll shred off some fat, but it's not primarily a fat burner. It is a fat burner, but it's a light to moderate fat burner, not a super fat burner. So if you're taking it thinking, I'm gonna lose all this fat because I take Tren, that's not happening, sorry. All right, this is Dan, bodybuilderinthailand.com.